Hold it! You can't go in here, there's bats in these woods.
Wrong Depp character.
Wait, hold on. Which one are we spoofing?
We're doing Into the Woods.
Oh, give me a second. Alright, let's try this again. What?
Let me guess. Tim Burton directed this, didn't he?
No, it was the guy who made Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised as well.
But I thought it was a satire.
No, not this version. It's completely serious.
But it's the same writer.
Look, you're wasting my time. I've only got 5 minutes.
Fine. Hello, Mr. Johnny Depp.
No, Mr. Wolf, as we've established a completely different Johnny Depp performance.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
Anyway, what you got there?
Just a Blu-ray that needs reviewing.
Why don't I take care of that for you? Because after all, it's such a perfect segue.
That's a cat.
Shut up.
With his beaver cap and his checkered tie, let's see what he has to say. What's he got for us this time? They're probably Blu-rays. It's a guilty pleasure. It's a comfort measure. Shine the lights, shoot the camera, smile for the world in panorama. He likes to impersonate Gottfried.
Hey everybody, Aficionados Chris here, and today I'm going to be talking about the latest Disney live-action musical film. Considering that they don't produce that many nowadays, I guess a lot of you can already figure out which one it is, that and of course the title of the video. This is a film that I've seen a lot of mixed reviews for. Some people have very much enjoyed it, others not so much. Many of them tend to sit somewhere right in the middle, which I guess that's where you could say I am. Best way to put it, it's basically Disney's answer to Les Miserables, and the continuing struggle that Disney really wants to turn Wicked into a film. That film is, of course, Into the Woods. I knew very little about both the film and the Broadway musical that it's an adaptation of, so I went into this very open-minded, basically just as a casual Disney fan, just wanting to see another live-action musical from them. Now, seeing this for the first time without having any prior knowledge of the Broadway musical, I still thought this was just a very dull and mediocre Disney musical. Like the opening sketch that I had a little earlier, I did think this was a Tim Burton adaptation. I mean, considering its style, its look, and of course having Johnny Depp in a surprisingly small role in the film made me think that this was probably a Tim Burton production, or at least had him producing it. But I was surprised to see that it was a Rob Marshall, the guy that did Chicago, very critically acclaimed musical film, which I actually have not seen yet, but I will be checking it out when I get a chance. Now, the problems I have with this film are actually very similar to another live-action Disney musical that I controversially didn't care much for, which was 2007's Enchanted. Boo! Hold on, let me explain for a minute.
My biggest issue with Enchanted was the fact that I believe the film got really confused as to what it was trying to be. The whole idea of Disney satirizing the very things that made it very popular is a concept that I could totally get behind and was very welcome to. However, when I saw the movie, I noticed the film would sometimes be a little satirical, but very lightheartedly, and never really went too far with that whole concept, and then ended up just becoming a generic Disney film altogether.
So you can kind of see my comparison, or at least I hope you guys kind of do, but yeah, essentially, I hate to be one of those people, but the play is a much better version of this story. It keeps all the satire that was intended, and I'm still really baffled that the same people who made the play just really played it straight this time around. I think it's a really bizarre way to go about it, because I don't think it works at all. This story just, every time they do something that would have been comedic in the original version, comes off very awkward. Now, does that mean I completely hate this movie? Well, not really. And like I said, I wasn't familiar with the original play, so I couldn't really get mad as an adaptation, but upon seeing the play and then comparing them favorably, I thought the play was just a much better story and a far more enjoyable experience. So I can safely say if you're a big fan of the play, you could probably skip on this one. But if you've never seen the play and you have an interest in checking out just another Disney live-action musical, I'd say check it out, but only if you're curious, because really, in my honest opinion, it's kind of lackluster. Like I said earlier with Enchanted, my biggest problem was the film just kind of kept forgetting what it was supposed to be, so I don't know, I don't think I can completely recommend this film. Now, with all the things I'm saying that are coming off as cons to the film, there are some pros. They're very small, but there are some pros. Like, I do love some of the cast members. I'm not too familiar with James Corden, but I thought he was enjoyable in the film, although I feel like they kind of wanted to get Jack Black for that role. I didn't care too much for Emily Blunt. I thought she was kind of bland. Anna Kendrick, well, I just love Anna Kendrick, so it was really just nice to see her in another film. Chris Pine came off a little creepy in this movie. But of course, the standout performance in this film is Meryl Streep. Wait a minute, Meryl Streep? Isn't she the same woman that went on a 10-minute rant about how Walt Disney was apparently a gender bigot and anti-Semitic? Yep, that's her alright. What made her change her mind? The answer's simple. The promise of money and another Oscar.
We're in the money, we're in the money. Take on what it takes to get along.
Joking aside, Meryl Streep is actually very good in this film, and she, as Meryl Streep would, she eats up every scene that she is in. Johnny Depp is also equally good. It's just a shame that he's really just an extended cameo. I counted, he's only in the film for about 5 or 6 minutes or so. But if you're a big Johnny Depp fan, you might enjoy his character, but as if you know the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf, no pun intended, his character is cut short. Really, that's all I can say about the film itself and whether or not I recommend it, which is really, if you like the play, I'd say skip it, unless you're very open-minded to a lot of creative liberties to the play that you're a very big fan of, and I feel very sorry for a lot of people who are very disappointed in this adaptation. I completely feel you. But if you're looking for another Disney live-action musical that you want to take your kids to or enjoy with your kids, I'd say go in with caution. It does have some disturbing images. It doesn't have any of the satire that might be believed to be in this kind of a film. Like, it's not Enchanted in the least. It's not lighthearted at all. So really just go in with caution, but if you are interested, if the trailers interest you, then by all means check it out. But if you really like the movie and you're thinking of picking it up on DVD or Blu-ray, there are some really good benefits to that, especially with the Blu-ray, because video and audio quality, as you'd expect for a film of its time, is absolutely phenomenal. And of course, because it's a Disney release, it's chock full of bonus features, which include, but not limited to, a never-before-seen original song, She'll Be Back, which of course is performed by Meryl Streep. The cast As Good as Gold, which is one of the many featurettes on this Blu-ray, which also includes Deeper Into the Woods, as well as a music and lyrics option, which, as you'd expect, that basically means you can have lyrics so you can sing along to the songs if you so choose when you're watching the film, as well as a filmmaker commentary, which of course includes Rob Marshall. But really, that's all I have to say for Into the Woods on Blu-ray. I was very disappointed with this film. I would only recommend it to people who have some interest, or if anything that I've said hasn't, you know, change your mind about checking it out. I would say still check it out if you have an interest, but if you're a big fan of the play, you might be disappointed with a lot of the changes they go through. Other than that, that's really all I have to say for Into the Woods on Blu-ray. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Oh, right. I have to make a new end cap. So yeah, if you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe. And if you want updates on future projects, go to Facebook and Twitter and give them a like and a follow. If you really like my content and you want to support it, then go to my Patreon page and donate if you have any spare cash on you. Everyone who donates to my Patreon gets their name at the end of the credits of every video, just like all these awesome supporters. What else is there? Oh, right. If you're still watching, then check out some of my previous videos. I hope you like them. I promise I'm very professional usually. Are we still recording? Oh, wait.